Dr. Michael Page is my guest, AMA WA President. The final issue here is bulk billing. Given the difficulty getting to rural and regional centres, increasing things like bulk billing, is this potentially going to change the game? Does this make it easier? Does this make it harder in a regional setting?
Yeah, so look, the Albanese government announced $8.5 billion over 4 years to improve bulk billing rates, and the coalition quickly matched it. So we think this will have more of an effect, in fact, in regional areas than it will in the city, and that's because the way this funding has been targeted is to provide an incentive to practices that are bulk billing patients, and that incentive is higher in regional areas. So we think it's probably got more of a chance of working in regional areas than it does in the city. In the city, we think a lot of practices that are already privately billing won't see an extra dollar out of this program and therefore won't be more inclined to bulk bill. Whereas in the regional areas, hopefully it has an effect, but the jury is probably still out a little bit. I think anything that can improve funding to general practice is a good thing. General practices have been facing all the same inflationary pressures as every individual or business has been over the last several years. Rents are up, electricity's up, water's up, staff costs are up, and that money that when you go to the GP and you give your Medicare card over and you maybe pay a gap as well, that has to cover all of those costs. There's no extra revenue there for the GP. It's got to cover the GP's time, the nurses, the administration staff, the electricity, the rent, all that stuff. And Medicare funding hasn't really increased to GPs in years adequately to cover inflation. So, so it is a good thing that this extra money will be there, but will it enable every general practice to bulk bill every patient every time and still keep the lights on? I doubt it.
One of the questions too is they talk about 9 out of 10 GP visits being free by 2030. One of the fundamental questions, and I'll just post this to close up, is that health spending continues to grow and will grow, whether it be on the cost of healthcare itself and costs on the ground, we've covered that, or just the sheer volume of people who will be coming through as we have an ageing population coming in. Realistically, does a system like Medicare continue to work, or do we need to look at other ways of funding health?
Look, Medicare is very important. I think, yes, we can look at alternative models, but what we really need to do is make sure Medicare itself is fit for purpose. So what we really would like to see, and what the AMA has been calling for, is for the structure of those rebates to be changed to reward that complex consultation, the longer consultation, because as you say, people are ageing, care is becoming more complex. And so these short 6 or 10 minute consultations, which are really what will be more rewarded under this new funding arrangement, are not going to do it for our ageing population. We need better funding for the longer consultations so that GPs can spend more time with their patients and deal with those complex issues as we age.
Dr. Michael Page, appreciate your time on the program this afternoon.